We can please start having all the commissioners come back to their place on the dais.
Oh my God. I mean, Lord, and then I found another one.
No. Good, okay.
Where are we going?
All right, we got everybody up here? Okay. She's right there. All right, good evening. At this time, we're going to go ahead and get started with the regular commission meeting for Monday, April 7th, 2025. If I can please have the city clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Billabella. Present. Commissioner Caldwell.
Here.
Commissioner Howington. Here. Commissioner Lowly.
Here.
Commissioner Santiago.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harriet.
Present.
Mayor Villa.
Present. This time, I would invite Pastor Maldonado to the front so he can do the invocation. And after, we will do the pledge that will be led by Deltona High School's band.
Thank you, Mayor, and every commissioner. Let us pray. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now. We ask, God, for your guidance. We thank you for your protection. We ask, God, that you would keep us safe, that you would keep first responders safe. We ask that you would give us the understanding, Lord, as we do the business of the city. And this we ask in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
And this time, we'll go ahead and do the pledge, and then we'll go into the national anthem by Deltona High School. So I'll lead us in the pledge first. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much to our students at Deltona High School. Great job. This time, I'm going to invite, for the honoring of our veterans, Sergeant First Class U.S. Army David R. Perry, Storekeeper U.S. Navy Andrea Turner, Staff Sergeant U.S. Marine Corps Danny Ron, and Private First Class U.S. Army John Allison to the front, and I invite the commissioners to come down. On behalf of the city, the commission, and myself, we want to thank you so much for your service. If we can please give them a big round of applause.
Mayor, do you want to do the other one right away?
Here you go. I know I got the
I like to use this microphone. It gives me something to hold on to. So this year's proclamation for Women's Month was supposed to be last month, but we sort of, I was a little late requesting it, but it sort of worked out well because not only are we acknowledging Deltona Women's Club during Women's Month, but we're also acknowledging them for their 60th anniversary here in the city of Deltona. So I've been a member, oh my God, I can't remember how long, probably when I first moved here in 2000. But I just want to give you a little history of the Women's Club. That piece of land, piece of property was donated by the Mackel brothers to the Women's Club. And in that little place that you see is where the Mackel brothers used to have their sales. So people who came to Deltona to buy property would meet there at the Women's Club. And the members of that time of the Women's Clubs used to host the people that came to purchase land or homes, and they used to make the coffee and the teas, and they used to bake them little cakes. And that's history, right, here in the city of Deltona. So having said that, I know we have a lot of representatives here from the Deltona Women's Club. If you guys want to come up. Some of us, we own a piece of the rock there. Some of us, I guess, are new members that I don't know yet. Yes. She was for our toy drive. That was my Sugar Plum Fairy when I used to do toy drives for children. And she's also an actor, an actress. She does at the all over. Which is the one in Lake Helen? The Shoestring Theater, yes. So, okay, proclamation. Whereas every year March is designated as Women's History Month by presidential proclamation to honor women's contributions to history, culture, and society, and has been observed annually in the month of March in the United States since 1987. And whereas Women's History Month is a dedicated month to reflect on the often overlooked contribution of women to United States history. And whereas Women's History Month grew out of week-long celebrations of women's contributions to culture, history, and society organized by the School District of Sonoma, California in 1978. And whereas the movement spread across the country as other communities initiated their own Women's History Week celebrations. And whereas in February 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring the week of March 8th as National Women's History Week. And whereas in March 1987, Congress passed Public Law 100-9 designating March as Women's History Month. Now therefore, we, the Mayor and the City Commission of Deltona, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2025 as Women's History Month in the city of Deltona, and we urge all residents to join us in this special observance, celebrating the contributions that women have given to society throughout history. 2025 Community Contribution recipient, Deltona Women's Club 60th anniversary, executed this 18th day of March 2025. Oh, wait, I need to be in the picture because I'm on number 2.
Show the proclamation.
Oh, yeah. Yellow window.
Can I get you all to stay?
If I can have the ladies come to the front here, so we can do it.
Nature of the beast. We're a man of paper. Smile.
Too late for that. It's too hot. I'm gonna take this off.
No. That was always the best part.
All right. All right, at this time, we're going to go ahead and go into presentations, awards, and reports. And we're going to start off by a presentation by a person that needs no introduction, Mr. Joe Hearn. He's the president, and he's going to give an update on the Rotary Club of DeBerry, Deltona, Orange City. I just want to ask Mr. Hearn to be mindful that we have a packed agenda.
Yes, I saw that, and I'm going to, and I did take 2 shots of espresso before I got here, so this should go pretty quick. I talk fast already, but I just mainly want to make sure I express, first of all, welcome Deltona community, mayor, commissioners, Doc, your amazing city staff. Thank you for having us here. I do have to give credit to Catherine and the PIO office and her amazing team and the IT. This will be the first presentation at a city that is going to work correctly. So we thank you for that. I do want to give a quick shout out to our Rotary members, if you would please stand up. Look at those beautiful people. So I feel so fortunate every day to be able to work alongside just some great service-minded individuals. I do want to point out 2 especially, let's make it 3, our rock of our club, Mrs. Pat Northey, an icon here in our community. I also want to point out a Deltona resident who is our incoming president, and that is Ann Cartier. And I also want to point out another Deltona business owner who is our president-elect, which is Franklin Rodriguez. So as you can see, Rotary, we're fortunate to be able to be in the community and really just come together and help others, and that's really what we do. I want to thank Emma Santiago, Commissioner Santiago, for showing up at our meeting. She's a proud Rotarian as well. Maritza's been a past Rotarian. Mayor has been to our meetings. Davis and Dory, I think everyone here has been to one of our meetings, and I especially want to thank Doc and respecting the value Rotary brings to a community and knowing the impact that they can make and how they can bring others together. So we thank you for being there. It's nice to see you bright and early in the morning, and we thank your city team as well. We do hold our meetings right here in Deltona, and we'll talk about that here shortly. All right, let's go through this. First of all, you can find us on our website at deberryrotary.org or on Facebook. We're very active on social media, so if you want to keep up, the community especially wants to keep up with some of the events that we're doing, some of the great things, certainly follow us on social media. This year, the theme is the magic of Rotary. As everyone knows, Rotary is very magical in a community, and we're excited to celebrate that theme. Rotary International has over 1.4 million members, 46,000 clubs worldwide, and we're people of action. You know, we're service-minded, oriented individuals. We are a nonpartisan, non-political organization, so it's really people from all walks of life. You can see the amazing diversity in our club, age difference, cultural differences that just come together to do good in our communities. Our global network is more than 1.2 million members that volunteer their skills and resources to solve issues and address community needs, with approximately 47 million volunteer hours each year. About our club, we have 45 active members and 3 honorary. Our average age in our club is 54. I still fall under that. Meeting day and time, we meet every Thursday morning at 7:45 a.m. and we meet right here in the beautiful city of Deltona at the center. We do support city government, so we host our events there. We meet there, we pay our bill there, so we're very proud to help support our community. We already have that. We also do a social once a month. So we realized as we go into our next generation and as some of our older Rotarians pass on the baton, it's important that we attract those families, especially in a city like Deltona, where you have so many young families and young professionals that are leaving the city and going to work but coming back to live, that they have a community here. So once a month we do a social. I encourage everyone in the community, everyone in the city, commissioners, stop by. It's the last Thursday of the month, and we always try to support a local business or local restaurant and give them some business as well. So we really try to do that to try to get other people to try to engage and enjoy. Okay, moving right along. All right, I'm the president. We don't need to go over that. Our president-elect is Ann Cartier. Our president-elect, Franklin Rodriguez, you just met him. Our secretary is Tanya Williams. She is your COO right here in Deltona at Halifax Health and UF Health. Our treasurer is also Ann Cartier. She does everything. Our sergeant-at-arms is Scott Miller with Main Street Bank. And our immediate past president is Michael Davey, who is also a big Boy Scout leader. From July 2023 through June 2025, our club gave over $68,850 back to the community. So we are a very small club, but we are a very mighty club, and we get stuff done, we'll say. Okay, back to our other giving opportunity, where we share in the community. So I just want to point out here locally, we have definitely helped our local veterans. We help support our local chapters. We also have helped with our community gardens. They were a speaker. We also support their initiatives. But some of the other things that we're real proud of is we're all about the youth. I think everyone in our club, we're all in cohesive consensus that our youth is where we need to invest a lot of our money. We are in a very young communities, and we all know that they're our future. So we really try to do a lot for them. So we give out scholarship awards over 15,000. We give out to all three high schools in our area. So university, specifically Deltona, Pine Ridge, and Deltona High. And when we go there, we're like usually the second ones with the highest scholarship amount. So it's really exciting. We have a great team that runs that program. And any families or parents, I encourage you. I think this year it's closed already, but please keep that in mind for the future. Our presidential charity awards are $14,000. Our community donations and contributions, almost $14,000. Our speaker honorariums, what that means is when a speaker comes in and they talk to us about, say, like the neighborhood center comes in, or New Hope, even better. I wish the Bradleys could be here. They are also Rotarians in our club. If they come in and talk about the programs that they're working on, things that they're doing, we make a donation to their nonprofit, just in support of them taking time to share all the good things they're doing. Our Rotary Foundation contributions, $11,300, and our youth initiatives, $8,380. So you can see we do some great things out there. There is the amazing Dot Bradley and Pastor Bradley right there. They were one of the recipients. Okay, Rotary Avenues of Service, club service, vocational service, community service, international service, and new generation service. Our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion is very, very important. Right now, one of our long-term Rotarians, Eli, I think he's here. We are working on a diversity tree project where in each of the communities that we represent, we can plant a tree and have a plaque with the Rotary sign on it, just to letting know, especially in a community like Deltona, really all of West Volusia, but specifically Deltona, it's such a cultural a melting pot of just so many different beautiful cultures, and it's just wonderful to see everyone come together and celebrate their community. Alrighty, when we talk about Polio Plus, we know polio eradication program has been a big mission of Rotary International for many, many years. We've gotten it so close to having it fully eradicated. I know there's a few areas where it's popped up again, but it is something that Rotary as a whole internationally works very hard to help countries that don't have the medical and health resources to be able to take care of some of those kids that need that, and it's very rapid in their communities. We love our schools. We this year got to adopt our first school, of course, in the city of Deltona. If you're not familiar, Sunrise Elementary. We're so excited to be a part of this school. For those of you or whoever's area it's in, I don't know your districts, but Sunrise Elementary is a neighborhood school. It is the coolest thing. When we talk to the principal, she's like, yeah, I think we only have like 4 buses that come, or 2, maybe even less than that. Those kids walk to school. They're the old time, you know what I mean? So it's a fabulous school. Our Dolphins, we have started a school store, so when the teachers get to award the students, they get to go to the store and pick something great out of the store. We're in the process of making posters, just inspirational posters, be kind, lead by example, just good Rotary service, integrity kind of sayings. And then also we started a Student of the Month. So now these kids get to actually put in their front yards and share with this very tight community that walks to school that they're the Student of the Month. So we're so excited about that. We also started a Teacher of the Month, and we recently got Miss Carbonell in our Rotary Club, so I'm sure we'll be doing a lot more educational stuff, and she's been just a great leader on that, along with Emily chairing our service projects. So we're excited about that, and we're hoping to adopt a couple more schools as well. We sponsor our Interact Club. We have probably one of the most vibrant Interact Club. I wish Jeanette was here with Trinity, but we have a Trinity Interact Club that is just very, very active. Our leader there, Jeanette, she really keeps those students really engaged. You know, I always say that, you know, with technology, we're just in a different era. And, you know, when I grew up, you know, we volunteered at the church, we volunteered locally, because there was nothing else to do. You know, I didn't have an iPhone or an iPad or things like that. So I really think it's important, the example that Rotary sets, to instill some of those important service, community-minded things that we need to definitely focus on for our next generation. Moving along, Easter Basket Brigade for Residing Hope. We donated a bunch of baskets to make sure all those families got to have Easter this year. We had a wonderful meet and greet with your amazing city manager, Mr. Doc, and we're excited to see him at Rotary now. And we knew when we knew Deltona has been through a lot, so our reasoning for doing that is we really, when Doc came to the community, anyone who starts any new job should have all efforts, all resources, everything put into that person. I'm just going through with a couple other boards that we're in, and I'm really stressing you have to give everything an opportunity. And so it was critical for us to make sure that the new city manager that came to Deltona knew who Dale Arrington was, knew who Carmen Raimondo was, knew some of the resources right in our local community, in our county, and so forth. And Pat was a big spearhead of that. But it's critical that, you know, to me, you know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I've learned to be resourceful. And if you can find the resources in life, you can do anything. So we're grateful to have him, and we hope he continues for many, many years here in the city. Candidate meet and greet, we also do that. Again, we are non-political, non-partisan. This year we had several of you sitting up here that actually got to come out and just share why you're running for office and share with the community why they are. Anytime we do these types of events, we do try to make them open to the public. Boys and Girls Club Trunk or Treat, our local Harris-Saxon Boys and Girls Club. Again, we're big proponents of supporting our youth, so we're able to play a role with them. We do a lot. Barbara is not here tonight, but she is in our club. She is the club director. She's fabulous if you haven't stopped by there. Little plug for the Boys and Girls Club, but also she's very active in our Rotary, so we get to do a lot of things with the youth over there. Hops and Vine is our big event. This year we held it at the center at Deltona. We did last year as well, too. It's a great event where it gives us an opportunity. You saw the money, almost $70,000 that we were able to give back to our local communities. We certainly could not do that without community support. Business owners, businesses, some of our large corporations, some of our small businesses. So it's an opportunity for people to come out, have fun, learn what Rotary is all about, meet our amazing people that just have a great time at being a Rotarian and really embrace the good work that we do. This is another one that we started last year or the year before. It's our annual Veterans Appreciation Day dinner. So our Rotary Club sponsors the entire event. So this year we had an Elvis impersonator. It was in DeBerry at the VFW. We pay for all the veterans. I think we had 142 this year to come out, have dinner. We spoil them rotten. Our Rotarians serve them, and we just have fun with them. And we pay for the entire thing. And it's really an opportunity for us to say thank you for all you've done for our country. Thanksgiving Basket Brigade, a big initiative in our Rotary Club as well. As you can see, we all get excited about it. If you're not familiar with Basket Brigade, it just basically helps families that may not be able to afford a Thanksgiving meal be able to have one on Thanksgiving. And Reese Across America, I think I saw Lauren King here maybe. Yep, there they are. You can't say no to them. So of course, no, I'm kidding. This is an amazing program. We were able to get involved in it. This year we hope to be even more involved. And Sue is always right there to just share with our Rotary Club just all the great things. If you have not experienced this event, it is just very heartwarming and touching and a beautiful thing. And we're blessed that we're able to play a role in that in our communities and be a part of that program. So thank you to the Kings for that. And then Christmas parades. It is not an easy task because we are the Rotary Club of DeBerry, Deltona, and Orange City. It is not an easy task to make sure we're in every parade, but we achieved that this year. So we're super excited about it. We love the Deltona parade. We always tend to walk with the Boys and Girls Club because the partnership is great, and it's just a fun parade. So thank you for putting that on. It's just great to see the community come out together and really celebrate what they have, which is just great people. And we also adopt a road right here in this. We do a lot in Deltona, which is how it should be, right? We also have a road here in Deltona. Eli is also in charge of that. And it's called the Wolfpack Run. It's right next to the high school. And we clean that up quite a few times throughout the year. As you can see us all out there in our Rotarian at Work shirt. This last cleanup, we had so many new Rotarians come out and really embrace that opportunity. So we're hoping to maybe even adopt another road and keep this going because it really is important to keep our city beautiful. Me Strong 5K, as when that went down, that's hosted in DeLand. I'm sure you've heard of it. It brings about 8,000 people to the county seat of Volusia in downtown DeLand. When the ladies who started that went to retire and said, we just can't do it anymore, they came to all the Rotary clubs in West Volusia. We have, I think, 7 clubs now in West Volusia. Maybe 8. 7, Ann? 7, I got it right. So we have 7 clubs in West Volusia, 5 in DeLand, 6 in DeLand, and then we hold the fort down for the rest of West Volusia because that's how we roll. But needless to say, we kind of helped take it over because we couldn't see bringing all those people into our community of West Volusia and just let that go. So we're a big support of that. We welcome speakers every month, so to the community, for all of you out there, if you have a nonprofit or something great that's happening in our Deltona community, please step up and share that information with us, and we'd be happy to have you come speak. Many different organizations, Arc of Volusia, this was Steve Kittner, we had our district governor, Mickey Omar, just always a variety. New Hope has presented, Neighborhood Center, all of them. Domestic violence, we've had some wonderful presentations. Again, our monthly club social, this is an old slide, but we just had our last monthly social at Beef O'Brady's, right up the street from here, right here in Deltona, supporting a local business. Had a great turnout, had to push a bunch of extra tables together. So again, if you can't make a morning meeting, stop by. Have a drink, have a glass of water, have a chicken wing with the fellow Rotarians, and you'll meet some great people and some lifelong friends. Now, the big reason why we're here, no, we're here for all of it, but upcoming this Saturday, we have our amazing Ed and Pat Northey annual 5K, 10K river run. Mayor, we always appreciate your engagement in that. You're always walking. You might even be in one of these pictures. No, she didn't include you, Pat. But needless to say, it is a great race. Commissioner Santiago was there last year, and we're just grateful. It's an amazing time. If you have never been to this race, you need to come. Even if you walk or just come to say hello. It's under a beautiful oak canopies at Gemini Springs along the river. It's probably the prettiest race in Central Florida. It's gorgeous, and again, it helps us to raise money. So we do encourage teams. I know we do have quite a few from Deltona coming already and registered, but community, come out. It is a great time. A lot of local celebrities. It's just a lot of fun. And that is this Saturday at 7:30? 7:30 Gemini Springs. 8 o'clock kickoff. Kickoff, we're going to call it. Okay, let's hurry up because the basketball game's on. Okay, coming up April 12th, we just went over that. And that is it. So most importantly, I just want to thank you for giving us time. I hope I was fast enough. I see you have a full audience today and a big agenda. I want to thank the commissioners. I want to thank the community. You know, when we do these events, when the community is not able, when they come out and support Rotary and see all the good Rotary does, it's important. You know, when we presented the scholarships at Pine Ridge and Deltona High, some of you have heard this story before. You know, I always ask all these students sitting in this auditorium, do you know what Rotary is? It was crickets. So, you know, for me, it's important that we get our messaging out. It's important that our future knows what Rotary does. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the city staff. We're grateful to have a wonderful partnership with you and to be able to do good in the community together. So thank you very much.
Huge thank you to our Rotary Club. We're going to go ahead and move forward to Section B, presentation by D Ranch, preserved by Mark Rizzio, Land Manager of Conservation, Florida. There he is.
Great. I was told I had 2 hours, but I'm going to try to give you a quicker version. Great, thank you so much. Great, yeah, sounds good. Great, I just want to start off by thanking you so much, the board, for the invitation today. A few of you, very familiar faces. You've been out to D Ranch with me for a tour of it. Others, presentations that we've had in the past as well. I would like to give an invite to the rest of you as well for a private tour of D Ranch Preserve. Because whatever
Mark, if you can just speak a little closer to the microphone.
I'm sorry. And whatever I present, I'm a little tall. Whatever I present today will not do justice to this property.
I can confirm it doesn't. The property is phenomenal.
It's an amazing property.
You just got to see it.
So my name is Mark Rizzo. I'm the land manager with Conservation Florida, and I oversee D Ranch Preserve. I love that picture. We're just so excited to be here to be able to present more about what our organization is doing within the city of Deltona. And we couldn't have done that without the support of you all, especially with the letter that you've of support for the Nature Center that we're building on D Ranch Preserve. Many of the community members that are here today as well, and I just want to extend that appreciation to you all. Thank you. A little bit about Conservation Florida. We're a nonprofit land conservancy, and we work to protect both natural and agricultural lands throughout the state. So we're protecting Florida's water, wildlife, and wild places, and connecting Florida wildlife corridors. Throughout the state, we work a lot within conserved lands throughout the state. And so the Florida Wildlife Corridor that runs from the Panhandle down to the Everglades, we work a lot in. You can see lots of our active projects, and we have more than 40,000 acres under easement throughout the state. So our organization does a lot of conservation needs throughout the state, and we work with all kinds of landowners, ranchers, other governmental entities, and try to preserve those conservation areas wherever it makes sense. But getting into D Ranch Preserve, that's why we're here today. D Ranch Preserve is 476 acres. It was donated to Conservation Florida in 2019, located within the city of Deltona, within District 6. Historically, it was a cattle ranch since the 1950s, adjacent to Lake Monroe Conservation Area, which is approximately 7,500 acres, but it's more than 90% wetland. So our property provides significant upland habitat to that big conservation corridor that you see up on that map. So what it could have been, D Ranch Preserve was slated like some other properties that you've seen, more than 800 homes, commercial development, school site. This was around 2015. We were excited to be able to get this property from an anonymous donor. And now it has become part of the city of Deltona as a conservation land and much, much more that I'm going to describe in the next slides. The history of the site itself has all kinds of different habitats, from scrubby flatwoods, scrub, music flatwoods, depression marshes, a flatwoods lake over on the east side of the property. You can see historically from the 1940s, the property has changed quite a bit. There was fire that naturally used to go across this property. Since then, in the 1950s, about 190 acres of pasture has been put on the property. A major ditch has been put on the property, and wetlands have been converted to pasture land. So what we're trying to do is do a lot of restoration enhancement to enhance those habitats back to what they once were. This property provides all kinds of ecosystem services, from floodwater protection, water quality, carbon sequestration, corridor connections, and a home for native wildlife and plants. And like I said, we're trying to do all kinds of restoration and enhancement activities through partners like Fish and Wildlife Service, the Department of Agriculture, NRCS. We've gotten grants to do timber projects, mulching activities, some of those mulching activities. The property has seen fire exclusion for more than 70 years. So in the 1940s aerial, where you saw that fire was consistently going across the property, it was almost treeless on the west side of the property because of how much natural fire was going across it. There's been fire exclusion over the last 70 years. So all kinds of an accumulation of all kinds of vegetation that we're trying to control now and get back to a healthy ecosystem within those habitats. So the mulching activities, we had palmettos that were well over my head when I first got there. With the mulching, which is basically mowing, those palmettos are now about knee-high, and it kickstarts that ecosystem health within those habitats. With NRCS, with funding, we've been doing a lot of invasive species management, but we're most proud of our prescribed fire program. In the last 3 years, we've had prescribed burns on more than 70% of our upland native habitats. And that says a lot of our dedication of trying to turn these habitats better for wildlife, better for native plants, better for insects, and just to be a better part of this whole corridor system. We are one of the last ones to do prescribed fire on horseback. It's pretty neat to see. You won't catch me on that horse, not in a million years, but it's really exciting to see. We are very proud to announce that we are opening our property up to the public. This will happen on May 1st. In the morning, we will be having a ribbon cutting, and we'll be sending the board and the city of Deltona an invitation to come to that. So we would love to see you there. We are opening more than 3.5 miles of trails. You can see the trail system over to the right. We couldn't have done this without the support from Florida Power and Light through funding and its charitable arm of the Next Era Energy. And I'd like to play just a quick video just to highlight what you can't see, and it'll give you a better idea of what we're trying to achieve on this property. Oh, there's no music.
Till the day that I die dead. I just wanna feel alive. With you, I'm alive. But it left me lonely. Tried to trust, but it burned me slowly. I didn't know what I was looking for till I found her.
So as you can see from the video and from this next slide, what we're trying to do is bring conservation and the community together. One of the things that we're doing with your support that you've helped with as well is that we just received the Volusia Eco Program matching funds to build a nature center out at the property. So we'll be converting our 5,000 square foot warehouse to a formal nature center. So we're really excited to be providing that. This is a multi-million-dollar project. Nature Center will serve as a diverse audience, including families, students, nature enthusiasts, and tourists, and we're really excited to be bringing this to the city of Deltona. We couldn't have done this without our partners, Borelli and Partners, who started us out doing designs for us, and then the Big Nova Foundation, which is a big foundation within this community, and the funding, we couldn't have brought this to the community without their funding. So we are so appreciative of our partners for this and other projects as well. Some of the things you'll be seeing with the Nature Center, the phase 1 will be the building and the native garden. Future phases will include hopefully equestrian parking, ADA trails, as well as an overlook to one of the nearby depression marshes. So this is just some of the pictures that you'd be seeing of what we're trying to achieve out there. The inside will be more than half of it will be an exhibition space that'll be a multi-use room for meetings, classrooms, and exhibits. You'll see a couple offices and a wraparound porch where people can come and just enjoy the outdoors on the property. This is the native garden that we're looking to build in the front of the property. And this is a future phase of the overlook and ADA trail. But again, we're trying to bring community and nature together, and we can't do this, without all of you, without the community. And you are part of our story, you are part of our community, so we appreciate your support. Some of the other planned activities that we're trying to do now with the Nature Center coming is that we are trying to partner with different entities, some of those being nonprofits like Bike Walk Central Florida, St. John's River Sea Loop Alliance. We've been in talks with Volusia County Parks and Rec, Volusia County Traffic Engineering, St. John's River Water Management District. What we're trying to do now is connect our trail systems. You can see over on the right that we have all kinds of trail systems, but no connection across 415 and Reed Ellis. We would love to work with you all to try to get a pedestrian crossing across Reed Ellis and a future land bridge going through DOT to get it funded, but a land bridge that would go over 415. So we would love to have more talks with you all about support in making that happen, and making more happen for the community out here. Some of the local conservation strategies that we're working on is that we also work for more conservation within the area. We support conservation where conservation makes sense. We have worked with Volusia Forever program and St. John's River Water Management District. As you know, there are high-density zoning that's being looked at on the north side of us. We have approached some of those northern properties to see if there is a way to conserve those properties, but with no luck. We're hoping that we would like to see that remain in ag or that remain in low density. One reason is our prescribed fire program. And our prescribed fire program would end on the north side of our property because on the west side and on that north side, we blow all of our smoke across Reed Ellis onto Lake Monroe Conservation Area. And for us to be able to keep those habitats clean and good for wildlife, and also to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so we would just, it would end that, and it would also put in a potential catastrophic wildfire situation because we wouldn't be able to maintain those with prescribed fire. If you would see this property in some of the areas that have not burned in more than 70 years, there is so much vegetation built up and stuff, and it really causes a dangerous situation. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing on the property really maintains this property for catastrophic wildfires not occurring within and on the property and spreading onto other properties. So we would love to see you as a partner in the future as well for that kind of thing. We are launching as well D-Ranch Discovery Program, where we'll be doing wild walks, basically educational trail programs on the property. We are looking for volunteerism on the property, as well as a recreational trails program. And so that would include exercise programs, that kind of stuff. We're looking for docents to come on the property to be able to give knowledge and be able to provide stuff that they enjoy. If there's photographers or painters or people that have history of Deltona or history of Florida, we would love to have them out there to lead different hikes and different docent type programs. So keep that in mind too. We would love the community to be involved with that. Get involved. There's all kinds of things that can be done at D Ranch Preserve, educational events, volunteer events. We've been working, we have a bat box that was put up by the Boy Scouts, which has been amazing. We also have a kiosk that was built by them that will have an educational sign. So there's all kinds of opportunities for the community and groups within the city of Deltona and outside the city of Deltona to assist with this property and really enjoy the property and be a part of it. Every dollar to Conservation Florida equals $36 worth of land protected. We are a nonprofit, and we do depend on grants and donations to keep with this property going, but we're excited to do so. But that's all I have today. I thank you so much for allowing me the time to present D Ranch Preserve and Florida and our organization. I would love to, as like I said, to set up private tours for more of you to come out and see the property. Thank you.
We have a Commissioner Avila Vasquez here on the board.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Mark, thanks so much for the tour that you gave us. A little bumpy on the road.
It's very bumpy, yes.
But it was a very nice tour, and you mentioned up there, I had a question, but you did bring it up about the plans to build that bridge.
Yes.
To connect one side, the D Ranch over to the other side of 415.
Correct.
Which is currently a county park.
Yes.
And they have trails and stuff, so it'll be so much nicer to connect from one area to the other. It's a beautiful sight to see, and I invite everyone to go out and just take a ride and a tour of it and see the wonderful areas that we have here in the city of Deltona. I was surprised to find out that was in Deltona. For
Yes,
some reason, I always thought it was on the Osteen side.
We are the very southernmost piece of land within the city of Deltona.
My last question, did this fire affect D Ranch, or did it even come anywhere near the fire?
It did not these latest fires. We do have some wildfires that have happened on the property, and we always work to, because when Florida Forest Service put in those lines, we always work to restore those lines as well. So we're very active in not only stopping those wildfires from spreading onto other properties, but going back and doing restoration after those lines go in around those wildfires.
Yes, and I tell you that while we were, Pat Northey was with me, and while we were there, we found newspapers. I mean, I can't even remember what dates they were from. They were wrapped. They wrapped a couple of things, right? And when you guys opened them up, it was, wow, look at this treasure. So it's really nice. Go out there, take a tour. You'll fall in love with it. Thank you so much, Mark, for your presentation.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see the rest of you out there. And thank you for all of you that have been.
Commissioner Lully.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much for the presentation. I've always had jealousy of the District 2 Commissioner for having Lyonia Preserve, and now we're going to have one in District 6. So that's really exciting. I think this is a really important place for those who've been out there. I know the Vice Mayor said it off the top that it's great. I encourage anyone else to visit it for yourself and see. I think your point about the development on the north side restricting the ability to do controlled burns is an important one. Plus, the other point you made, that it then would pose a safety risk to the folks who would say we build those 40-foot lot homes. The people that live along the preserve then would have the potential to be impacted by an uncontrolled wildfire. Yes, so that's important. So, and we're working on things as a commission to try to see what we can do for that land around there with the Keep Deltona Wild overlay district. So we're studying that right now and are really excited to see what we can do to help maybe do some of the things that you said, lower density types of development, conservation, agriculture around there. So thank you so much.
Great. Well, thank you all, and we really look forward to working with you in the future as well.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mark.
All right. I just have a quick report regarding some of our budgetary information. I gave the city clerk the report. She's going to give it out to each of the commissioners, and then they're making it public for the public. Just a quick update. Our budgetary process in the Senate has been accepted. We're funded at $750,000. On the House side, we have the AWS recharge project and at $1,250,000, and the Teresa Basin mitigation project funded at $187,500. So that report will be given to each of the commissioners, and it will be made public for the rest of the residents. And the city manager's next. You have some other reports.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to keep the positivity of this meeting going. So there's a few things that the commissioners are not even aware of. First, about a year ago, a few months before my arrival, the City Commission was informed about a $1 million penalty being imposed on the city of Deltona by the IRS. Well, the city staff was trying to figure out the reason for the penalty and fully understand what was happening from back in 2018 in those few years. Some people called for heads to roll and for employees to be terminated. I should note that many of the employees, or all of them that were involved with the documentation issue between 2016 and 2019 were long gone. It was our current great employees who tried to fix the issue. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce the City of Deltona settlement with the IRS will cost the city nothing, $0. The process has now come to an end with the city being informed that of the $1 million penalty, we owe nothing. In fact, due to the review of the city's actions, the IRS owes us back pay in the amount of $7,800. So instead of paying the IRS $1 million, the city already deposited the check from the IRS today. So that's great news. Second of my three, the city windows. I did mention a little bit at the commission workshop. The city also just received a $139,000 grant to replace windows here at City Hall. About 1/3 of the windows from a grant from the Department of Energy. There's several areas, especially on the first floor, that we learned during Hurricane Milton that experienced some leaking. So we're ready to move on that. So I'm pleased to inform the residents that the city staff was able to apply and receive some more outside money to fix that issue. And of course, last but not least, as the commission may or may not be aware, around 18 months ago, the city received a $1.5 million grant for the design, permitting, and bidding of the Fisher plant upgrade from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, FDEP. The redesign of the entire Fisher plant is needed to meet the FDEP wastewater treatment standards. It appears that the overall redesign of the Fisher plant is going to be about $44 million. Well, I'm pleased to announce this evening that the city of Deltona has just received a water quality improvement grant in the amount of $22 million from the FDEP. So I expect to have the acceptance information on the next commission agenda. I'd like to thank staff and the engineering firm Mead Hunt with working together to request and receive the $22 million grant. So as staff ramps up efforts in redeveloping Deltona, we're hopefully having more days like today. And as I often say, it's a good time to be in Deltona. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right. At this time, we're going to go ahead and enter into the consent agenda item 7, and I have Vice Mayor Harriet on the board.
I'd like to make a motion to approve all the consent items.
Second.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, second by Commissioner Lally. Is there any public comment? Okay, can we please vote? Motion passes 7-0. At this time, we're going to enter into ordinances and public hearings. At this time, I am going to ask and request that the public please hold the applauses, just because now we're going to get into items that we really need to pay a lot of attention to, not that we didn't for the other stuff, but we're going to go ahead and, if I please. Did I pass the approval of minutes?
No, it was in the consent.
It was in the consent agenda.
Okay, well, then I need to go back. I'm sorry. And it's not in my agenda, but I need to go back to the consent agenda. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
With the request of the approval of the minutes, I'm requesting a correction be made with where it says I can't find it here now, but the motion that was made by Commissioner Lally was seconded by Commissioner Maritza Avila Vasquez, and it says that it was seconded by Commissioner Harrington. I'm looking for that right now. Hold on a second. Where's the book? Oh.
I think it's 8B, I think?
Yes.
Okay, for Vineland Reserve.
Yes. No. For your project on the,
For the Keep Deltona Wild
yes,
overlay.
I think so. Can't get used to these big binders. But, yeah, somewhere around there.
I'd like to amend my motion to approve the consent agenda item.
With the correction?
Yeah, consent agenda items, all consent agenda items with the correction to the minutes to the last meeting to reflect the second from Maritza Avila Vasquez.
Right.
Commissioner Lally, would you like to amend your second to accept the?
I only have meetings from the 8th, we're talking about the 18th, March 18th?
Our last meeting.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm a little confused here now. These minutes are from March 18. I take back my comment. I'm thinking of the last meeting, crazy
Special
meeting we
meeting.
had. Yes, I take that back. Thank you.
So we're still good?
Okay, we're moving on.
Got the nod from legal.
We're good. All right, we're going to go ahead and we are going to Section 8, ordinances and public hearings. If I can please have the city attorney read item A, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is ordinance number 04-2025.
Can you please turn on your mic? There you go.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 04-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending the zoning code, Chapter 74, administration, to include review procedures, eliminating review durations, and updating public noticing requirements, amending Chapter 75, 106, and 110 by removing procedures regulated in Chapter 74 of the Land Development Code of the City of Deltona, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date, and this is second reading.
All right, I'm looking for a motion so we can get into discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve this item.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet to approve.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Santiago. Do you want to start, Jordan? Then we'll go to Commissioner Caldwell and then Vice Mayor Harriet.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. I have Alexis Crespo, our RVR consultant who helps staff with this, these amendments. So if the Commission has any questions,
Okay.
myself or Alexis is available for questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Caldwell.
Yeah, I know I've had a discussion with you and I believe Jessica as far as density. And I thought we were steering away from 6 homes per acre. Is that, I noticed in here we have a maximum density in R1B. Is that correct?
We're on Commissioner, this is 8A, this is Chapter 74 of the administration.
No, I got something different here.
Which item's density?
He's talking about,
I think he's talking about item B, maybe?
item,
Yeah, PUDs.
I believe 8F.
Okay, well, right now we're on A. Do you, are you on page 3 of the agenda?
This seems to happen every other meeting.
What date does it show printed? Does the bottom of every commissioner up here, does it say printed on 4/3/2025? Yours says what? 4/2. Okay, we have to make sure we all have the same agenda items, because that's probably why we're getting. Okay, we have 4/3. So on your iPads, you should be able to see under 8, A is an alpha, it should still be the correct agenda item.
Yeah.
Okay, so does any of the commissioners up here have any questions on that? Is there any public comment on this item? All right, can we please go for a vote?
Unanimous, 7-0.
Thank you. This time we're going to go into item 8, B as in boy. If I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
For the public hearing.
This is ordinance number 05-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending section 110-319, PUD, planned unit development, updating application requirements to include enhanced architectural, landscaping, and environmental standards of the Land Development Code of the City of Deltona, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading, and you should all have a supplementary printout of the exhibit to this ordinance that includes 2 amendments that staff has recommended be made between first and second reading in order to clarify timelines for approvals to lapse and a provision regarding barrier materials on perimeter landscaping.
Thank you. At this time, I'm looking for a motion so we can begin discussion.
I hereby move to approve and adopt ordinance number 05-2025, amending section 110-319, plan unit developments of the city's land development code.
I'll second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Lally, and there's a second by one of the 2 ladies in the back, Commissioner Howington. Okay, is there any public comment? Okay, let's go ahead and go for a vote.
Pass 7-0.
Okay, this time we're going to go into item 8, C as in Charlie. City Attorney, if you can please read the hearing.
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
Ordinance.
this is ordinance number 06-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending the zoning code, chapter 110-807, home occupations, by updating the title to home-based businesses to align with Florida statutes and include provisions related to employees, traffic generation limits, and agricultural home businesses, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to begin discussion.
I hereby move to approve ordinance number 06-2025, amending chapter 110-807 in the city's land development code at first reading.
There's a motion, Commissioner Lee.
Second.
It's a second by Commissioner Santiago. And we have Vice Mayor Harriet.
Yeah, I'd like to, I was approached by a resident who owns a small business here in the city doing swim lessons. I'd like to make sure that we're not prohibiting swim lessons, somebody from having an at-home small business doing swim lessons at their house with the lack of a community pool and the increase in drowning deaths in Volusia County. I think it's important that we're not putting any more restrictions on small businesses that are offering swim lessons within our community. So
So, Vice Mayor, the overall function of this ordinance is to align with state statute, which actually preempted a good deal of the regulation that was able to be implemented at the local level. So if anything, this is a more permissive regulation than we previously had.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Colwell, and then we'll go to public comment.
Yeah, would the changes in this, Jessica, would the changes in this include semi-cabs? I noticed that it says semi-trailers, tractor trailers have an overall length of more than 12 feet. Does that include the semi-cabs?
No, because the link, correct?
Can you repeat that, Commissioner?
In here it says the prohibited vehicles.
Correct.
In your opening statement here, it says include semi-trailers, truck or tractor trailers having an overall length of more than 12 feet. It doesn't mention semi-cabs.
Between first and second reading, we can look at the semi-cabs to see if it can be included.
Okay.
We'll have to look at the definition in the Florida statute.
Also, in the home-based business, are you allowed to keep equipment on the property?
Can you keep equipment on the property? It would need to be stored properly in the dwelling. It would need to be stored properly, would not be able to be exterior.
So we're not going to allow food trucks, for example, to be in the backyard where it's visible to all the neighbors? That'd be a home occupation, would it not?
A food truck would be a home occupation.
So they would still be subject to the parking and seating requirements otherwise provided.
Okay.
You still have to follow the parking regulations of our land development code.
In the exhibit here, it states that you can park trailers and stuff on approved driveway surfaces. Would that mean the front of the house also? If you have 2, 3 trailers that you haul lawn equipment on, you'd be able to park them in your driveways?
As long as it meets the regulations of the land development code, yes.
Okay, well, in the land development code, we're not allowed to have trailers in the front of the property, are we not?
Currently, our code's not allow that, but this is we'll have to look at the state statute to see how
So the state's allowing this under the statute?
I believe he's looking it up right now.
Yeah, if you'll give me a moment, I'm just going to double check that.
And this is to deregulate this. I mean, I read the state statute from it was from a last year's bill that went through, right?
2018.
2018?
Or 20, around there.
So the state statute still allows for local governments to regulate the use of vehicles or trailers operated on or parked at the business or on a street right-of-way, provided that such regulations are not more stringent than those for a residence where no business is located. So if you are not allowed a trailer at a regular residence, you would not be allowed a trailer at a home-based business, and vice versa. If you were allowed a trailer at a regular residence, you would be allowed a trailer at a home-based business.
Okay, so we can still follow our original codes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Avila Vasquez, and then we'll go to public comment.
Thank you, Mayor. So just to clarify, back to Commissioner Steve's question, even though we're upgrading this to comply with state mandates, our code supersedes this. Am I correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Our code does not, our code does not supersede this. We have to follow certain state statutes, and then there's certain things we can regulate within our code, such as parking, aesthetics.
So it's just certain things that we cannot allow, even though the state says that it's allowed.
Correct. The state preempted, so we have to allow any type of home-based business. Anybody that wants to open a home-based business at our property, we have to allow it.
If I can just have Zach clarify, or Gemma, what Commissioner Avila Vasquez, I believe, is trying to ask is, obviously, the state statutes will always supersede city ordinances, but the state statute is allowing us to still regulate the parking situation. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. We may still regulate parking as long as it is not more stringent than another residence within the neighborhood. Really, the major change that we see in this state preemption is related to employees. Previously, you could, as a local government, prohibit employees at a home-based business, say it has to be, a home office or similar, and now that's allowed, as well as a few other changes to the regulatory scheme.
So the changes on the state level is inside the business, actually, where the city is responsible for the outside. Am I correct? I mean, because that's what it sounds like to me.
More or less.
All right,
Correct.
thank you. Yeah, that makes it more clear. Thank you very much.
Can we please go to public comment?
None, sir.
Can we please vote? And of course, you guys are always available to answer any other questions for the other readings, correct, Jordan?
Yes, Mayor.
Motion passes unanimously 7-0. This time, we're going to go into Section 8D as in David. If I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 07-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending the zoning code, Article 14, medical marijuana dispensaries, by updating the title to pharmacies, drugstores, and medical marijuana to align with Florida statutes and to include provisions for purpose, location, standards, and approval process, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 07-2025.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet to approve.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Lully. And Commissioner Villa-Vasquez, you're on the board.
Thank you, Mayor. So you have here that staff added 500-foot distance requirement from all schools.
Commissioner, I think it may be helpful if I go through the presentation, and it may answer some questions. So before you is ordinance number 7-2025, amendment to article for the medical marijuana dispensaries. A little background, ordinance number 10-2014 was passed in 2014, and it allowed a conditional use operation of medical marijuana dispensaries in the C1, C2, and C3 zoning districts within the city. In 2018, Florida legislation preempted the regulation of cultivation and processing of marijuana to the state, leaving local governments with little authority. So what are your options based on the 2018 legislation? You have three options. Number one, you can ban medical marijuana dispensaries. Number two, if the local government decides not to ban the dispensaries, number two, you can allow them in any zoning district that pharmacies are permitted. Or number three, regulations, you can create regulations to more strictly regulate dispensaries, which would also apply to pharmacies. And the recommendations that staff has made in this amendment is based on number three. Just a note, regulations cannot be more stringent than those applied to pharmacies. So the recommended changes, pharmacies, drugstores, or medical marijuana dispensaries shall not be located within 1,500 feet of another pharmacy, drugstore, or medical marijuana dispensary. They cannot be within 500 feet of any public or private park, religious institution, house of worship, or school, unless approved through a major conditional use at a public hearing. And then there is a major conditional use approval process provided if it does not meet the locational regulations. There's a map showing your current pharmacies and medical marijuana dispensaries. This blue circle is a 1,500-foot buffer, and the yellow circles are the 500-foot buffer from parks, churches, schools.
How many dispensaries do we have in the city of Deltona? Do we know?
We have two operating right now, and we have one underway.
Okay, because I can think of two right off the bat, my head. So one of them is in a plaza, and I'm not good with measuring distance with the way you're putting it here with the foot distance, but one dispensary is on the other side of a special school.
Mm-hmm. So anything existing would be existing non-conforming.
So existing?
Non-conforming. So if it were to go away, then it would have to follow the regulations that are set forth in this ordinance.
Okay, so, I mean, it's It's pretty near schools and a church.
So once again, the options are you can either ban them or you can set up regulations for them.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Shago.
Thank you. This community is a family community. We currently have 2, and 3 is on its way. I really think that's plenty in the city of Deltona. I don't think we should allow any more. I think one of the options, like you mentioned, was to ban any further construction or additions to the city. So I'm asking if you can amend your motion and maybe look into banning altogether any additional medical dispensaries in the city of Deltona. I do know that, I think we spoke earlier about they do home deliveries, and I think with having 3 in the city, that is sufficient. So that's where I stand. Thank you.
And if I may, I just want to flag that if it's the will of the commission to go down this path, the proper form would be to either table or deny the item before you tonight, because it will be a significant change to move from the way this was noticed as providing for regulations and changing to a denial, a ban of the type of medical marijuana facilities. So we would need to re-advertise, just so that if that is the path that you all want to go on, that's the way the motion would need to be formulated.
If I can please implore the person that made the motion to withdraw their motion and the person that did their second to withdraw their second, so someone can possibly table this for a different discussion, different day.
Does it need to be tabled or just denied? It needs to be advertised.
It would need to be re-advertised. So if you table, it would be with direction to re-advertise under this new direction. Or if you deny, I mean, same thing.
Are there any impacts to pharmacies or any other stores if we ban medical marijuana dispensaries outright?
No, there's not.
Have any other communities around us?
Yes.
Is there the 500 feet that you mentioned on item 2, is there an ability to increase that number?
So the 500 feet is mandated by state statute.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yes.
I'd like to amend my motion to deny item number 7-2025.
The person that made the second, would you like to withdraw your motion? The original?
Sure.
Okay. So we have a new motion by Vice Mayor Harriet to deny and a second by Commissioner Colwell. Okay. Vice Mayor, you're still on the board.
I don't.
Okay. Commissioner Villa-Vasquez and Commissioner Lully, and then we'll go to public comment.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to understand what I am going to vote on right now, so...
If we can have Zach explain.
Yeah, so the motion on the floor right now is to deny ordinance 7-2025. I would request clarification if that motion also includes direction to staff to bring back a new ordinance that bans medical marijuana dispensaries.
It does. The intent was to include.
So are we banning them from the city of Deltona, or are we just voting to change some of this?
So
I'm so confused because it's...
The motion now would just be is just denying the ordinance, but it is directing staff to come back and draft a new ordinance, and that will be advertised and come to you for a new public hearing at a future date.
That would ban them?
That would ban.
It would ban... It would just... We would not allow any medicinal marijuana...
additional dispensaries
in the city of Deltona, or we will not allow any more than what we have right now?
We would not allow any more than what we have. The existing ones would be existing non-conforming. If they were to go out of business, then they would not be able to reestablish.
So, okay, so what we have now, they're okay, and
Yes.
whatever application there is out there is going to be honored by the city.
Yes.
So, okay.
They've already started construction. Interior.
Okay, so I mean, I understand what we're saying here, and I don't have a problem with this, but let's also remember that anybody who goes into these dispensaries has a license, and they're allowed to do what they're doing by the state, approved by the state. So I'm just, just saying, let's not put all these people out of business because, it's allowed by the state. So just putting it out there.
So right now, we're only voting to deny this, and then we'll be voting on whether we want to deny or not. But right now, we're just denying this specific ordinance. Commissioner Lally, hold on.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make a general statement that, and by the way, I understand where everyone's coming from, so I'm not denying you that. I think that alcohol, tobacco, opiates, I think are far more destructive than this. It's something I'm ask anyone. I don't drink, I don't do anything. I'm very boring, but I'll tell you that 5 years ago and change, I took one of these things. I had a neck injury. I had 2 herniated discs went into my spinal column, very serious. And I took this thing for 30 days, these little capsules, every night at 8 o'clock, and after 30 days, I was cured. And you can ask anyone, I don't smoke or anything, nothing. So the other option, I guess, would have been ultrasound-guided steroid injections, at the base of my brainstem, which is scary for someone who I haven't been to a doctor in 10 years, or painkillers and opiates and really scary things, which I've never taken anything like that in my life. I'm afraid to take aspirin. So I understand where we're coming from, but I just wanted to share that there are instances out there where this has been very helpful to people and has avoided more serious things, because I don't believe that this is more serious than all the other things I named, and I've seen people destroy their lives with it. Can there be problems with anything? Absolutely. Can it be too close to schools? Absolutely. But I just wanted to make that point that there are some benefits to this. I've seen in other cities, in places that are not successful, like Florida and Michigan, where our city manager's from, where these places pop, where people are leaving Michigan in droves, and they have all these empty buildings. People have moved in there with these stores, and supposedly they've made a lot of tax money, but the roads in Michigan still are not very good, so I don't know where it's going. My final question, and I'll get off my soapbox. In these stores, do we get any revenue from this other than the licensing for the business and all that? Do we get tax revenue or anything as a city?
We would receive, as part of the state's shared revenues on sales tax.
Just sales tax?
We would receive that, and then property value.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Mayor Harry, and then we'll go to public comment.
I want to clarify that this, in fact, if we do ban this, will not take away any jobs. It will not close down anybody's existing business. It will not negatively impact the existing dispensaries within the city, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. The biggest thing for me on this item is that 500 feet within schools and parks. I don't want my future children. I already can smell it when the neighbors across the lake, the neighbors down the street are smoking it on their back porch. I don't want to smell that in my own yard, and I currently can. I don't want kids at schools, at parks, just within our city. I don't think that's a part of childhood, which is why I asked the question if, what have our surrounding communities have done. It sounds like this product is available within the surrounding communities, and so that's the driving force for this, for me.
Is there any public comment? All right, can we please vote?
Mayor, could we hear the motion again, just to make sure, since a lot of us here have questions? Thank you.
The motion by Vice Mayor Harriet was to to deny the ordinance and
Provide direction to bring back an ordinance that would
ban
medical marijuana dispensaries.
See, but you're saying to ban, not to allow them.
That's not this time. Right now, the premise of this is so we can give direction, so they can come back with something, yeah.
Okay, so then that's the way the motion should read. It shouldn't read to ban.
That's the direction.
That's the direction. We have
For
to
them
give
to
them
bring back a new ordinance that would
Okay,
then.
and let's keep the word ban out of the motion then. Am I with that? Are you okay
Well,
with that?
it's denying it's a two-part.
Yeah, it's a
So the
two-part
first
motion. So the first part is denying the ordinance on the table and providing direction to staff to bring a new ordinance which would ban medical marijuana facilities.
It doesn't mean you're voting to ban.
Moving forward.
And then at the time, when that ordinance comes before us, because they have to notice it and all that process, then we will discuss that ordinance to deny it, or to ban it, excuse me.
Thank you, Mayor.
Motion passes 7-0. We're going to go to item 8E as in Edward. If we can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is item number ordinance 09-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending the general ordinances, Article 8, rental properties of Chapter 22, businesses, to provide a regulatory framework for short-term rentals consistent with Florida statutes, updating definitions, and updating the process for business tax receipt applications, inspections, and approvals, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
All right, this time I'll entertain a motion so we can begin discussion.
Yes, I hereby move to approve ordinance number 09-2025, amending Article 7, did I get that right, with the Roman numerals, within the city's land development code at first reading.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Lully and a second by Commissioner Santiago. Seeing no one on the board, is there any public comment?
We have a question there. Just as you were talking, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll take your question right after the public comment.
Perfect.
Nathan Lax, please.
Say that again?
Nathan Lax
He's gone.
from the West Volusia Association Realtors.
He's not here. Commissioner
Okay.
Colwell? Is that the only public comment?
Emma Cool.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Caldwell, and then we'll go to a vote.
I noticed in the proposed changes that were redlining the charges for the fees, or the fees for these services. Is that going in a different area?
That's going to come under resolution under a separate item.
Under a separate item?
Yes. And I just want to also stress in the current iteration that you have, we're recommending an affidavit every 2 years. Staff, for second reading, we're going to bring it back that we're recommending for rental houses an inspection every 3 years.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my next question. It actually says for 5 years for a brand-new house.
5 years is for vacation rentals.
Could we include it to be 3 years?
Say that one more time, Commissioner.
I said, right here in the red lines here, are the adapted policies, you're going to allow a house to be 5 years rental before it's inspected?
That is for the vacations/short-term
Vacation
rentals.
only?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, can we please go for a vote? Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. This time, we're going to go to item 8F as in Frank. If we can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 13-2024, and an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending sections 110-300 to 110-320 of Article 3, Establishment of Classifications and Official Zoning Map, to include zoning regulation updates of the Land Development Code of the City of Deltona, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, this time we'll entertain a motion to begin discussion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve public hearing item number, ordinance number 13-2024. Is that intended to say 2024?
It is 2024.
Yes, the ordinance number was assigned in the previous calendar year.
Perfect.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, and there's a second by Commissioner Lally, is that correct? Okay. And we have Commissioner Caldwell, and then after that,
Now that I've got the right ordinance.
And this is second reading.
This is second reading?
Yes.
The same question applies as far as maximum density. Why are we still allowing 6 homes per acre?
It has to match the comprehensive plan, so when the comp plan gets updated, the land development code will be re-updated to follow that.
Okay, so this will be re-updated at that point?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
okay, is there any public comment? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. This time, we're going to go into item 8G as in go. If I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 14, 2024, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending Section 110-810 of Article 8, driveway expansion residential of the Land Development Code of the City of Deltona to include updated design standards and permit requirements, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, this time we'll entertain a motion to begin discussion.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Caldwell to approve. There's a second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Is there any public comment? Okay, can we please vote?
That's a good one.
Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. This time, we're going to go into Section 8H as in house. If I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Thank you so much, Mayor. This is ordinance number 16-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending Article 4, Financial Policies of Chapter 2, Administration of the General Ordinances, to be termed Article 4, Finance. Establishing Division 2, Budget, and Division 3, Purchasing of Article 4, Finance of Chapter 2, Administration of the General Ordinances. Repealing and relocating the provisions of Article 10, Bidding Preference for Local Vendors of Chapter 2, Administration of the General Ordinances, to newly created Division 3, Purchasing of Article 4, Finance of Chapter 2, Administration of the General Ordinances, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 16-2025 as.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, second by Commissioner Avila Vasquez. Is there any public comment? Can we please vote?
Sorry, John.
Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. This time, we're going to go to item 8I as in igloo. If I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 17-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending Article 1 in general, Article 2 solid waste, and Article 3 stormwater utility, and Article 4 street lighting of Chapter 54 special assessments of the general ordinances to update the process for enacting special assessments and setting annual rates, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. This is first reading.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to begin discussion.
I hereby approve ordinance number 17-2025 on first reading to amend Chapter 54 special assessments, if I can talk, relating to solid waste and stormwater utility.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Lully, second by Commissioner Santiago. Is there any public comment? Can we please vote? Motion passes unanimously, 7-0. This time, we're going to go into item 8J as in Jaguar.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 18.
Hold on, before you make the motion, if I can please have the city attorney read the ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor.
Make your motion.
This is ordinance number 18-2025, an ordinance of the City of Deltona, Florida, amending Section 68-58 customer deposits of Article 2, water and wastewater utility rate ordinance of Chapter 68, water, wastewater, and utilities of the general ordinances to update customer deposit and creditworthiness requirements, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. This is second reading.
Okay, there's, you want to go ahead, Vice Mayor?
I'd like to make sure to approve ordinance number 18-2025.
I'll second.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Harriet, second by Commissioner Howington. Is there any public comment? We can please vote.
That's it.
Motion passes 7-0. Is there any city attorney comments?
No, thank you very much.
Is there any city manager comments?
Thank you, Mayor. Just three quick ones. The ordinance committee, staff is looking to have that on the next agenda for the ordinance committee, a discussion by the commission. One of the things just want to point out, each of the commissioners, I believe the discussion was you would appoint somebody to be on the board for 7 members. Each appointee cannot be on another city board or committee, just so you're aware of that as you think through who you might want to appoint. That'll be at the next meeting. Just a quick follow-up and pointing out a few things about this weekend event. Staff presented a wonderful event this weekend called the Celtic Fest. There are a few local groups that were involved that I'd like to just recognize. Tartan Turf is a Deltona lawn maintenance and landscaping company who actually wear kilts as they maintain their properties throughout the city. Tartan Turf assisted us with not only getting the word out about the event, but they managed the Highland Games portion of the event, one of our local landscaping companies. Second, Veteran Enforcers Motorcycle Association, as we know it as Deltona's VEMA, also assisted at the beer tent. VEMA has been recognized many times by the City Commission for their contributions. The Deltona Rotary Club was also on location. So a special thank you to everyone who attended the event, the staff and volunteers who supported the event, but especially Tartan Turf, VEMA, and the Rotary Club for being in Deltona and supporting the community. One final thing, this past week, staff finished up our internal meetings when it comes to preparation for community park meetings. So it's going to be advertised citywide, but just to put it out now, the additional expected dates would be a meeting at Harris Saxon Park on Tuesday, April 29th, and Thursday, May 1st at West Cryle Park, but we'll have much more information coming out to discuss with the community what they'd like to see in at least a few of the parks, and then that'll come back to the commission for discussion. That's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. We're going to have commissioner comments at this time, and I see Vice Mayor Harriet, Commissioner Vila Vasquez, Commissioner Howington, Commissioner...
Everybody.
No, sorry, somebody took... Got it, okay. So we started with Vice Mayor Harriet.
You want to just go down the dais and...
Well, I didn't see everybody. Well, now Nick is on there, so yes, I guess we'll go down. Lyle, we'll go this way now. Commissioner Lully, if you want to start.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the great news, Mr. City Manager, at the top of the meeting. I think that's the information that I think we should be putting out proactively as well to the public, because if I was, John Q. Public, I would recall, a meeting a year ago where, a commissioner went on the news and said that we're, have to pay all this money to the IRS and back taxes or something like that. So all the things you said are, I think, great things that we should be putting out to the public in the form of a news release or social media post. Particularly, I know the IRS thing's a little touchy, but like the Fisher Plant grant, I think that's great. We should be celebrating those things because it's the hard work of your staff and everyone else, and even the people up here working to get those things done. So that was great news. I appreciate that. Heard some good things in public forum that I'll work with the city manager on and see if there's any things that we can look at. Like I heard about passive parks. I think that that's a great idea. And of course, we'll be talking about Rhode Island with what we're doing over at the Activity Center. What I wanted to bring up, just because my constituent asked me to, a District 6 resident who was involved with the Southwest Volusia Democratic Club, I understand that there was some with the Celtic Festival, we were not trying to make it political, so if we can just talk about that offline, just I want to make sure that his point was represented, since he is my District 6 constituent. And then finally, I was wondering if we might be able to get commission consensus on this. I understand that we have a rather large tree fund, and I was wondering if we might be able to identify, each commissioner identify one area within their district that we could use some of the tree funds to, which I understand are restricted to trees, to use to do some sort of project, whether that's at a park, and maybe it becomes part of the parks plan that we're working on, or a stormwater pond, or any of the other locations like that. Does that seem reasonable if we could get?
It's up to the commission as to how you want to board on, but definitely the park plan will be including a lot of trees in the park system.
So I think just the same thing, I could get consensus, just each commissioner can identify one area in their district to start off a tree fund project. I guess we could kind of call it a prototype or whatever, but it would be an area that we identify with the focus on native trees, so not ligustrum, not crepe myrtle, but native trees that we would find generally in your district. I've had a lot of, that's like the second most thing I have people ask me about is beautification, so if I could get consensus on that.
Can I, Commissioner Lilly?
Yes.
Can I also specify within that not just native trees, but native trees to that ecosystem?
Yes.
Right, because we don't want to plant like some kind of cypress tree in the middle of a sandy field where it's going to have to get watered.
Exactly. So for the clerk's benefit, I would say the consensus I'm asking is for each commissioner to work with staff to identify one city-owned area within their district to utilize tree funds to do a tree project involving native trees that are specific to that habitat and ecosystem.
Yep.
Okay, a simple consensus. All those in favor say yay or aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, you have consensus.
And just thank you again to all the staff, legal, city manager, everyone. Thank you so much for the hard work you're doing. I know that Saturday recently was killer, and I know that there's a lot of work that goes into that, so really appreciate it. And thank you to the commission for sticking through it too.
Commissioner Caldwell? Before you get started, Commissioner Caldwell, if there's any public comment that bled over from earlier today, if they're still here, you're going to get called right after the meeting's adjourned. So go ahead, Commissioner Caldwell.
Right. I'm going to ask for consensus, not in an attempt to bring back old wounds, but to move forward and learn from our mistakes. I'd like consensus in Section 2380, where a quasi-judicial hearing, the defendant is allowed to vote in his favor. To me, that's kind of like being the defendant and the jury at the same time. So again, I'd like to get consensus to change that in Section 2380.
We'll get can we get advice from legal, because I think that's governed by state statute.
So,
The state statute was stated that you can't
the
vote.
2-380 is within the General Code of Ordinances, so that would be a amendment
to the charter.
To the General Code of Ordinances. So that would be just an ordinance on 2 readings. I would need to do a little bit of research just to ensure that there is no due process concern with that. So if that is the direction we receive tonight, if we find a due process concern, we will notify you and bring that back to you all as a body, accompanying any proposed changes.
Okay. Is there, can we do a roll call vote for the consensus?
I'm always the ugly one to be the first. Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell?
Yes.
Commissioner Harriet?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Howington?
Yes.
Commissioner Santiago?
No.
Commissioner Lully?
Yes.
Mayor Villa?
No. They have consensus, 5-2. Anything else? Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to respond to the city manager's comment about no commissioners allowed on any city board. That's, AHAC is exempt from this, right? Because it's mandated by the state.
Correct, I was informed that's the one board that we're allowed to have.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, just wanted to make that one cleared. Also, I just want to thank staff for all the hard work that they did on Saturday. I mean, just about everybody that works in the city of Deltona was out there helping and volunteering their time. I was there for a little while. My back was not happy with me. Thank God that one of the guys loaned me their little golf cart to get around for a little while. But it was a great event, and it was well attended. The other request I want to make is the the welcome sign on exit 111. I have been asking for this to be replaced, and it's still an empty spot. It's over next to Wendy's on Saxon Boulevard on exit 111A. If we can look into that again, please. I noticed that it was put on the 415 exit and stuff like that, but the 111 sign is still missing. It was removed, not to duplicate the one on Saxon and Normandy, but the one in Saxon and Normandy is a message board where the one that we had agreed, I don't know if it was with this commission or prior commission, but it was agreed to be replaced with just a standalone Welcome to Deltona sign. And that's missing. It was like a couple of people have mentioned to me what happened to our sign. I'm glad it's gone. It was ugly, but we need to replace it so we can look into that again. I just want to go back to commission comments. I just want to tell you that unfortunately, I cannot agree on the meeting that we had on Saturday. That was a very, very long, stressful meeting. I don't know who thought that a special meeting would go for 15 minutes. I mean, one person here in the dais will take up 15 minutes to comment on something. It's a wrong idea to add the special meeting workshop. Commissions didn't get a chance to make comments on it. It was a special commission meeting. We should have been allowed to make comments. The workshop meeting, that was too long. I mean, it was so long we didn't even get to finish every agenda. And to me, I feel that it was that long because we haven't had a workshop meeting since last year. In prior commissioners, we had a commission workshop. It was commission meetings, and then second or third Tuesday was a workshop meeting. And I'm going through my policies, in a workshop, according to meeting policies, cannot go for more than 2 hours. It's stated on that policy. It cannot go for more than 2 hours. How long we were here, we did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's see what else I have here. We had the program for the TNR. I mean, this room was full of people that are volunteers for the TNR program. I understand that we were trying to rush, but in the commission meeting policy, it states that you can allow input in a workshop if time allows. Come on, that room was full. We should have made time for at least giving them 1 minute to speak and express their concerns, or even give us ideas like that young lady that came and spoke to us. She was very positive in her speech and told us information that we could have just let her speak that day on Saturday. The workshop that we had, we did not touch on the most important subject, which was letter E, hurricanes, and the things that we need to do to prepare for the hurricane season. I cannot believe that we spent a whole day discussing TNR, discussing other stuff, but we just put the hurricane information for the next meeting. Hurricane is around the corner. We're in almost mid-April. May just gone, and then hurricane is around the corner. I just cannot understand how we just push this item to the bottom of the barrel. The other item that I want to discuss is CRA. Why was that even in that agenda? CRA is run by the board. It's not run by the commission. Same people, but it's a board. So I don't know how that item was put on the agenda for commissioners to discuss. When it's supposed to be, this changes. When we do CRA meetings, this changes. It becomes board members. So I don't even understand how that was part of the agenda. I think that we need to look at this a little bit closer. I think that when we ask on this dais for a workshop, it should be done within 30 days the most. The next month, workshop should be held to order, maybe 1 or 2 subjects. But we had 2 pages of workshops, and each page had like 4 items in each agenda. I mean, I'm talking about A, B, C, D, E, that's 5. And we didn't even finish, so what do we have? I mean, another 4, 5 more topics? It's ridiculous. This is it's just hard for us. It's hard for staff to be here the whole week and then to be here on a Saturday, their time off, another day full for things like this. So please, let's consider going back to the process of how workshop was done. We don't have to have 2 workshops a month. We can have 1 workshop with 2, maybe 3. We can push it to 3 items, but not like the way this Saturday went. This was ridiculous. Saturday is my time for my family. And unless it's an emergency meeting that we need to hold on a Saturday, going forward, your Saturday meetings, if you call, is going to be by my calendar. Saturdays is family time. Again, unless it's an emergency meeting. I'm just shocked at what happened here Saturday, and still we walked out and not completed anything or half of the agenda. The most important hurricane. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Howington.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo Commissioner Avila Vasquez's sentiment there. One of the things that we haven't discussed that was on that workshop was impact fees. The conversation started in December. In January, I asked for somebody to come back with price quotes specifically from Stantec and Benesich, or I'm not sure I'm even saying that correctly. Thank you. I talked to Jordan. He's worked with both of those companies. He said they're great. In the workshop, it looks like a company was put forth that specifically focuses on water, wastewater, and stormwater, which are the 3 impact fees that have actually been increased. We have impact fees that haven't been increased in 10 years. We need to start looking at companies that are skilled in law enforcement, fire, all of the things that we have been neglectful of for the past 10 years. We need to bring in companies that are qualified to do those studies. I believe the 2 I mentioned did Orange County and they did Volusia County. So they've done large-scale cities and populations. So I would like to ask for a consensus for staff to come back with either an RFP or 3 or 4 price quotes if they call around to get the study started. So while we have so many zoning and progresses in place, we can start to work on our impact fees that have not been adjusted in 10 years. So I would like to get consensus to direct staff.
Just for clarification for Commissioner Howington, did you guys already get that consensus, or do we need to do it again?
Do we have an overview at this point to give, John?
Specific to the impact fees she's talking about.
If we're going to do something, could we do it to just begin that procurement, the proper procurement process?
Mayor, Commission, actually tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I didn't look at my calendar, I'm actually meeting with the firm that is handling our water sewer rates, and they're also doing our water and sewer impact fees. Then this Wednesday at 11 o'clock, I'm actually meeting with Jordan, and we're going to be discussing all of our other impact fees to include getting a proposal for looking at our planning and zoning fees, building fees, and all other fees that we haven't looked at these past couple of years. So by next commission meeting, I would have a response to give to the city manager on when we expect to have those studies completed. And in fact, the mid-year budget on May 5th will include an amount to allow for us to pay for all the other impact fees other than water and sewer. So there'll be quite a few items coming before you in the coming meetings.
Commissioner Howington, does that help answer your question?
Can we get more than one quote so that we actually have a choice? Because I know that the water company, I think the piggyback contract was $110,000, which puts that into our area of approval.
On the water and sewer, we're utilizing the same firm that's already doing the utility fees. For us to go and have another firm, it would probably cost us 2 to 3 times that amount because they have to do the majority of the work. In terms of the other impact fees, absolutely I could. I don't know the price, but I do feel it's going to be under the $50,000 mark, and it would be a competitive bid, which if it's budgeted, would allow for us to move forward once we have those proposals.
I would still like to see an RFQ on that. Since, I mean, it has not been adjusted in 10 years, and this is a significant concern for our community. Can I get a consensus to get an RFQ?
So is that an RFP or an RFQ?
That would be an RFP.
Okay.
They're not covered under CCNA, so we could either do it as an RFP or an ITB.
Okay.
Preference would be our RFP.
Okay. Can we have a simple vote? Those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Okay, you have consensus, which I believe he was giving anyway, so. Okay, is there anything else, Commissioner?
Yes, I have a few things. The next one, there's been talks about a fire assessment due to a report that we received recently. I'd like to seek consensus to ask our staff to look into the possibility of having non-ad valorem exemptions with regards to certain assessments, specifically for our service-connected disability residents. So meaning people who are 100% disabled due to actual service issues and disabilities, that we could exempt them from certain things when we have non-ad valorem.
Can we have a consensus?
Do we have any information on what those dollars look like?
I believe the report we just saw said $50 million in a fire assessment over 25 years.
What would the exemptions, what I'm thinking of is dollar amount per exemption. So if we're going to exempt that class, then what's that dollar amount look like?
Well, the 100% disability, I believe, is about 3,500 houses. And most of them are elderly and disabled.
Mayor, if I may,
yes,
with all due respect, I'd like to ask legal advice.
This is one of the reasons I dislike doing these consensus stuff, because we put staff on the...
As far as non-ad valorem assessments, if we're talking about the service fees like solid waste or stormwater, those are services to the property that generally would not fall under an exemption like that as you would for an ad valorem. For an ad valorem assessment, we can certainly do an investigation and look into it. I would proffer that an alternative vehicle to accomplish the same goal may be to establish an assistance program that qualifying individuals could receive a rebate, essentially, rather than providing them an exemption. If we're not able to move forward on an exemption basis.
So I'm back to my original. I was asking to allow you guys to do the research, not actually provide an answer tonight. So I was not trying to put you on the spot. I just simply wanted to get consensus to allow you to look into it.
Okay.
And I have my question that I wanted to ask on your consensus request. As a family member of somebody that is 100% disabled, a veteran, are they allowed to vote on this consensus or make a?
The short answer is yes. Typically, when you consider these types of analysis, you'll look at whether the class affected is greater than 100 people or less than 100 people. Since this class is greater than 100 people, 3,500, even if conservatively it was less than that, as a member of that class, you would not have a conflict.
I cannot vote?
You can vote.
Okay, thank you.
We can do a simple consensus vote. All those in favor, say aye.
And that's for staff to look into the options.
Yes, to have them research it, yes.
Okay. All those in favor, can say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, can say nay. All right.
Okay, one more. It's come to my attention that we have a problem with the tractor-trailer parking and that it's causing code compliance a lot of headaches. So I would like to potentially ask staff to look into the opportunity to ask businesses that bring a large population of tractor-trailers into the community that might potentially need to park for significant periods of time to have designated parking spots on their property for the tractor-trailers.
Is that something that you can directly do, City Manager?
This is Commissioner Caldwell's wick right there. Amazon is the biggest offender, and of course their response quickly is they're not their trucks. And it's not the same person coming back every week or every 2 weeks. It could be different people every year. So I believe John Cox is dealing with them, and we're trying to get them to find a place on their property. But I think they also have the sense of once the truck drops off, they disappear, and if they're waiting to pick up an order, they wait somewhere in the city, so.
Residents. The microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Businesses, logistic businesses here in the city of Deltona, where they're commonly caught parking their rigs in their driveways.
Right.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Sunday.
It is a big issue.
Sunday, I sent something to code and the city manager that they're destroying our sidewalk and they're eating up all the swells in the city. So it's a big problem. But it's not only in those areas, it's also in residential areas.
Right, so we expand it and ask for them to do the research on potential options for the community to deal with this situation.
Is that part of the ordinance that we are looking at updating?
We just need residents to report.
Right, but I'm just saying we need to have a place for them to park because we notice that we have a problem, whether that means TPO going back and asking for somebody to put a parking ramp on the side of I-4.
There is a place that's getting ready to build. I mean, it still doesn't matter how quick they can do it. It's still a year easily out, but I don't know how we can enforce. I love the idea because, like I said, I have one that's literally close to my house, and I have residents knocking on my door telling me that they're...
Well, that's what I was thinking. If those businesses are required to designate so many spots within their parking area to house the vehicles.
And we'll come up with some potential solution. It's a daily, all day. Commissioner Caldwell and staff, we were working together at one point in general, and you'd have to have a code officer sit at racetrack all day. And if they're in the truck, you can't kick them out either. You can't ticket them. So they're hanging out in the truck, and Raceway has to go out and try to tell them to leave, but they're making money off and that's only one location. That's all day. They just keep coming and coming and coming. So.
Yeah, we can do stuff residential property, but I know that I think everybody on this dais has come about racetrack as not racetrack per se, but the people parking there. And I don't think they've, from what I've been told, they haven't wanted to kick some of those people out.
And developer Frank DeMarche there is also concerned about his property because they're spending a whole lot more time over where he is.
And that's who owns the road. It's Deltona Retail Holdings or whatever, right? It's very dangerous.
So if I can understand your request for a consensus vote, are you asking, and maybe I misunderstood, but are you asking for us to reach out to business owners?
No, I want to look for solutions within the community, whether it be through land use codes. This would be up to staff to come back and present something to us as an option. We have a problem in the community. We just need to have a solution. And what that solution is, I don't know. I'd like to just give them the direction to please start looking into various options for our community.
So I don't, anybody, do we have to do a consent? I think that's just the direction to the city manager.
No, we've been trying to figure out a solution, as Commissioner Caldwell knows.
Can you come up with a report to give to Commissioner, to everybody on the
If we're talking about potentially, Commissioner Hamilton, if you're referring to if any new developments, they have to have number of spaces for trucks. Certainly that would be a possibility, but I don't know if we've got that many factories coming in that are setting up spaces for trucks, we have a problem now, currently. All right. We'll work. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. And then the other one was just bring back the dispensaries as quickly as possible, so it doesn't take a month, 2 months. I'd like to see it at the next meeting, if everybody's in agreement with that. Sounds good.
Yeah. Is everybody okay with that?
Well, yes. Is that a reasonable time frame to draft an ordinance?
The advertising really the issue.
2 weeks?
Advertising.
Yeah. I don't believe that we'll be able to have it by the next meeting. We can probably have it by the
1 month.
At the meeting at the end of May.
The second meeting in May.
The second meeting in May.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Santiago?
Thank you, Mayor. Really quick, just the Celtic Festival, Doc, staff, thank you so much for an amazing event. What a wonderful family event. Grandkids came out, face painting, wonderful music. Even the kids did a camel ride. So thank you very much. Beautiful job. I can't wait for next year. And the other one, really quick, I just have an update to the Holland Boulevard pedestrian safety. I just wanted to share an update on the safety improvements along Holland Boulevard near Deltona High School. I recently met with our county councilman, and at the latest county council meeting, members unanimously voted to allocate $200,000 towards enhancements in the area. The improvements will include upgraded signage, colored concrete, new railings, with the goal of completing the work before the start of the next school year, which is this year in August. I did request for lighting, however, because they're currently a roadway improvement study on Howland Boulevard from I-4 to Catalina to do some upgrades. They're going to wait for the lighting because it kind of might rip up the whole entire street. So that's the update. Should have something by the next school year, which is this year in August. And that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, are we going to have any public comments after I adjourn the meeting? Okay. Okay. I just have one quick update. Obviously, in our packets and for the residents, the city manager report, but more importantly, there's a lot of information. I'm not going to go through them, except maybe for the job fair. I think it's extremely important. Then there's just something for Mother's Day, but please go through that. If the commissioners, when they take time, a lot of you do so much in our community already, but every time the schools call, if we can somehow more of us show up to that, that would be great. I know I did an expo for Trinity. I know that's a private school, but then some of the other schools are asking for more readers and things like that. And I know it's a lot to ask because you guys do already a lot for the community. So that's all I really had. The meeting's adjourned. You already spoke. Listen to public comment.
No, real quick. I am slightly disappointed to think that a resident thinks that I don't want resident participation, and in the same breath say that I'm there to pick up the phone and answer all the questions and provide all the documents. So it's disheartening to hear that, but enlightening to hear that it's felt that I am answering all the questions and providing all the documents. So I do think that if residents aren't able to participate in our commission meetings, that email and phone calls are a very viable option. You shouldn't ever feel that just because you can't attend a meeting that your input's not valued. because there are multiple ways to be heard other than just showing up to a meeting. The only other comment that I have tonight is I just wanted to point out in agenda item 8F that granting agricultural type uses to rural estate zoning is a phenomenal change for our city. I think that benefits Commissioner Lully and my district very much, and I just wanted to point that out. Thank you, guys.
Public comment?
Keep it short and sweet.
Taylor Benning. Taylor Benning.
I'm sorry.
Robin McClintock. Robin McClintock. Rory Dupias. Rory Dupias. Robert Trombetta. David Mackel. So that closes public comments.